she ended up with Pete Davidson. And Pete does have his own set of like BPD intensity, but he is much more easygoing than Kanye. And again, this is a situation where Kim now is much more successful, much more influential. She would be in control. And that relationship didn't last very long. It ended after less than a year. So it will be very interesting to see where Kim's pendulum swings when she ends up in a relationship again. So the next question we need to dive into about Kim, after living a life with two very controlling figures, Kris and Kanye, and that is, will she go on to perpetuate the cycle or will she end up breaking it? And what we can look at now to determine that is, how does she interact with her own children and what is the dynamic between her and her sisters today? So Kim has definitely been criticized because North is already in the spotlight. Kim has already talked about becoming North's manager, although she has said that she is not taking a 10%, but it should have us questioning, is she just playing out the same role of Kris? One thing I will say, just from using predictive psychology, I don't believe that North will be Kim's golden child. It's narcissistic parents often pick the golden child who looks like them or who is the most beautiful. And Chicago has that type of beauty that people are already gushing about. I don't want to give it too much attention because it's in the spotlight. Kim has already talked about becoming North's manager, although she has said that she is not taking a 10%, but it should have us questioning, is she just playing out the same role of Kris? One thing I will say, just from using predictive psychology, I don't believe that North will be Kim's golden child. It's narcissistic parents often pick the golden child who looks like them or who is the most beautiful. And Chicago has that type of beauty that people are already gushing about. I don't want to give it too much attention because it's a little creepy and sick for us to talk about a child's beauty. But why I bring it up is the way people talk about Chicago's beauty is the same way that Kim's beauty was being talked about all the way back in Kris's memoir. It's the same way that Paris Hilton's beauty was talked about with her parents. It does seem in some ways that Kim wants a bit different of a cycle for North. I've heard her say things like she wants to protect North in a different way. Also, we have Kanye to look at and his psychology and who his golden child will end up being. North's personality does seem to mimic Kanye a bit more, and she challenges Kim way too much, I believe, for her to be the golden child. But Kim also has come back. Like, there are tones of what Kim says to North, that you are not supposed to exploit the family, that you have loyalty to the family. And this is what happens in narcissistic family systems, is that loyalty to the narcissist script. It is just an unspoken rule. You don't go against it. You don't complain about it. You don't talk about the abuse. And if you do, you are punished. So what about Kim's relationship with her sisters? I honestly look at it and I'm like, this shit is sad. Do you guys see as we're like breaking this down and these sisters are literally getting plastic surgery to look like Kim. There's competition with each other. They're upholding that narcissistic script. But Kourtney is someone who is breaking out. She has gotten therapy, and I think this is why she even more so sees a lot of the dysfunctional patterns inside of her family. And we have a direct account of Kourtney saying to Kim, "You're such a narcissist." She literally says in one episode, "You are a narcissist. Everything you do is about you and how it looks to the world." That last part is exactly how it is with a narcissist. And that is also a sister who has known Kim her entire life saying this. She obviously has probably seen Kim's narcissistic patterns, and Kim does have some. I think what Kourtney was doing in this moment is essentially calling out years of frustration, with Kim caring more about optics than feelings. Very similar to how Kris Jenner is. And many viewers found themselves nodding along with Kourtney because we too have seen it. And what this comment says is that at least one person inside of the family perceives Kim as fitting the description of a narcissist. And Kim didn't deny it either. Instead, she just deflects by questioning Kourtney's happiness, turning it back on the accuser, which is a narcissistic tactic. If I had to give an exact answer of, is Kim a narcissist, I would probably say that what she has more so of is a narcissistic injury. She was trained to think of herself as special and to maintain this perfect facade and to tie her value to external success. Those are common narcissistic tendencies, but they are coming off as her survival strategy. In some ways, Kim honestly might be more of a people pleaser. She wants everyone to love her, but she also plays by the rules to get that love, meaning she works hard, she adapts her image, she does what's expected. A true grandiose narcissist, more so like Kris and Kanye, will break the rules and do whatever it takes for that admiration. They operate by their own rules and then they expect others to comply. Kim is different, where she is just a bit more conciliatory, and this could be genuine or it could be by design. Nonetheless, the fact that she's even being compared to Kris shows that that cycle is at least actually intact. In some ways, she is exactly using Chris's playbook, just with a lighter touch, but she is using those same strategies to keep the family empire alive. Let's take a step back and reflect, what does Kim's story mean beyond the tabloids and TV ratings? Kim Kardashian's life has been extreme. Sex tapes, a billion-dollar empire, millions of followers, marriages to mega celebrities. It's not always a life that many of us can relate to, but peel back those layers, and at the center of it is a deeply human story about family dysfunction and longing for love. We can rightfully bring up, maybe Kim is just complicit to all of this. She is the one who is keeping this narcissistic machine train rolling. But she was also a little girl who learned that love had to be earned. She knew she had to shine or else she would be cast into shadows, and she did this at whatever cost it took. She grew into a woman that achieved everything possible, yet she is still the one who moves her own goalpost. For anyone who has come from their own dysfunctional family, Kim's predicament is recognizable. Maybe you were the golden child who always had to be perfect for your family's approval. Maybe you felt you existed to make your family look good and your needs always came second. Kim's experiences echo that, performing for love, to play a role for her mother, her partners, and the public. There's a poignant parallel between Kim and any golden child, and that is the qualities that make you special within that family are what become your biggest burden. And this raises an intriguing question, and one of you asked this in my last video, and that is, well, what will happen when Kris Jenner passes away? If Kris is the center, the nucleus of how this narcissistic family continues to thrive, what happens when that leaves? Well, narcissistic family theory says a couple of different things. One is that the family could completely fall apart. And when this happens, it's not like people wake up and they see the day and then the family rejoices and comes back together. A lot of the times you see a lot of estrangement that happens between siblings. So they will literally just drift apart, do their own thing. And that is because the central manipulative force is no longer there to hold the family together. At other times, a narcissistic heir will ascend, which is typically the golden child, and then the cycle will continue again, keeping the family orbiting around a new son. Kim appears poised for the latter. She has, whether consciously or not, been learning from Kris all of these years, and Kris has even alluded in different interviews that Kim is going to be the leader, and that is for Kim to decide what path she will take. And her story for us can be a warning and a lesson, and that warning is, if you don't address your childhood wounds, you may unconsciously end up becoming exactly like those who hurt you. But the lesson is, it is never too late to break that cycle, and we have also seen that in shades of Kim, of her at least trying to be different. It seems she does want to be a gentler parent to her children. She at least speaks a balance and trying to protect them more. So only time will tell which path Kim does end up taking. So as we wrap up,